Okay. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this interview. I think it's going to be really helpful for people to get a feel of what it's like working with me and also what it's like being in therapy in general.
Okay.
All right. So, what led to your decision to seek therapy initially?
We started looking for a counselor before we get married. We thought it would be a good time to set up some rules, and we don't want to wait until we have any problems to start talking to someone. So that started out as a preventive, I don't know, therapy, and then it just kind of lasted as we grow and start to, you know, figure things out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you started kind of with premarital and
Mm-hmm.
then just ongoing couples therapy as needed. And
Yeah.
then I know we've also worked together individually as needed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is there anything you had doubts about that led you to not wanting to seek therapy in the first place or specifically working with me in the first place?
I don't think so.
Okay. What did you find as a result of working with me?
I think I'm definitely happier. I feel like one, there's times that we get stuck, and I feel like knowing that we have someone that we trust, knowing our history to talk to really takes the anxiety away. So we, even though we feel stuck right now, we know we're not going to stuck forever. And that's a great relief. And also I feel like you just have the skill set because you always teach us new techniques and everything. And I feel like every time we are stuck, you have this session that make us just dig deeper into ourselves and equip us with those techniques to figure things out together. So
Mhm.
that's great.
Okay, great. Um, was there a moment that you knew you had made the right choice in therapist or even just in seeking help at all?
Yeah, I feel like I always know that. I think honestly, I think a lot of people are having anxiety issues. It's just whether they seek help or not. You know, even if you talk to your friends or you have a wise family member, I feel like they're not really qualified to give you any advice. And
Mhm.
because they are related to you, they can come with some sort of bias. And for your marriage, we can be talking about something that's very private. So if you have shared some information with friends or family, they still are going to they're still going to be how do you say, like,
Interacting with your spouse?
interact with your spouse. So after you tell those things, then they kind of put on a different layer before they interact with your spouse, and I don't feel like that's very good.
Yeah.
You know, to be able to talk to an outsider that is, somewhat more objective than your friends and have gone through the training to help you, I think it's very important.
Yeah, that's a really great point. I think a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people do talk to their friends and family about their relationship concerns, and then they kind of regret it later because their friends and family are saying, well, why don't you just break up then? And then they feel judged
Yeah.
if they're not breaking up with their partner. And it's just, it gets a little dicey after a while. I totally
Mm-hmm.
agree with that. Yeah. Um, what would you tell somebody who's never seen a therapist before and they don't really understand what the benefits are or why somebody would pay money to do that? Like, what would you say to kind of put their mind at ease?
I would definitely say anything that you think that's worth pursuing, and we're talking about your happiness, your healthy relationship, then it's you need to invest, right? You either invest your time, you can read all those self-help books and stuff, or you invest financially to talk to someone who's being trained to help couples resolve different kinds of issues.
Mm-hmm.
You have this goal that you want a healthy functional relationship, and you definitely have some difficulties if you're even thinking about therapy or anything. So you want to solve this problem, you got to invest in something. And I feel like really not a luxury. It's a necessity these days to be able to be mentally stable and have a very secure emotional life.
I love that. It's really not a luxury. It's a necessity. That's
Mm-hmm.
so true. I believe that too. What specifically do you like most about working with me or therapy in general?
I just feel like, you know, you're a really good listener, that I can um, tell you about everything and have you um, understand where that comes from. Like, you don't really judge what I say. And I feel like that's sometimes why it's so hard talking to friends and family, because, you know, before you could finish your thought, they want to help and contribute, and they can't help judging you, and you feel self-conscious because of that. So, and I really feel like after I talk to you, like probably 75% of the emotion is gone because we allowed it to pass through, and then we can really work on, you know, the actual problem, because a lot of those things are emotions, and they start bouncing back between you and your partner, and things get bigger and out of control. So I really like that you support me and you are there for me. And I really appreciate, like, we had probably like one or two times that was like our emergency counseling, and I'm like, can you do 8 o'clock tonight so that I won't be mad or for all night. And I really, really appreciate that, because, you know, to let that out is really important in that moment. So I like that. I like that you understand that this is important and you make accommodation for your clients. I really appreciate that.
Thank you. What would you share with somebody who has never done online therapy specifically, and they're kind of wondering if online is for them?
I don't see why not. It's the exact same thing, except that you don't have to drive or park or, you know, it really provides me with a lot more flexibility, and you're still there, and you really don't see any different. You have, I would say, if you don't have a quiet, secure environment at home, then you probably want to go meet with someone in person that have an office. But if you have some space at home that you get to be alone with Sarah, or you know, have your partner be there and have a space to conduct the session, I don't see why you really want to go meet with someone in person. Saves a lot of time. And then right, last time we even did a session when I have an hour break at work, and that's not possible if you have to meet with a counselor in person. So I highly recommend it.
Yeah. Great. And then last question, would you recommend working with me? And if so, why?
I would. I've done that. I think you really have patience. And then I think you also see through a lot of the, you know, emotional matter, and you see the core of the relationship. Also, on the note of, I have introduced you, my friend has said, oh, blah, 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 introduced, and you immediately said, we're not talking about them. So you're very private. You definitely keep all the information confidential. So you're, you know, as a client, you're not really worried about your information leaking and all that. And I think the online booking system is really easy. It's really easy to use. Yeah, I don't see why not working with someone. And also, I like all your, you know, your emails about your blog, because some of those points are really, really good. Like the one you said, well, you don't have to resolve something and then go to bed. Sometimes giving it time and space will help. And I find it to be true in our relationship. So, you know, all those information are for free. If you have had sessions with Sarah, it's there for you. And that's a resource that you can use.
Yeah. And people can read my blog even if they don't have sessions with me. So that's a great tip.
Yeah.
Awesome. And that's funny that your friend who you referred came reported back to you that I was like, I can either
Yeah.
confirm or deny that they're my clients.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
said, "Oh, Sarah's really good. She's very sensitive about your information." But like, it's also funny because I already told her
I
everything
know.
to my partner, you know. But for Sarah to guard my information, I really appreciate that.
Yeah, that is definitely one of the cornerstones of therapy is confidentiality.
Hmm.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. And I know it's going to be really helpful for people listening. And I
Hmm.
appreciate your willingness to help out.
Yep, no problem. I really recommend therapy for everyone these days.
Okay, thank you.